What is going on, everybody? My name is Nico and welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video. Today we need to talk about the new Paradox Pokemon because honestly both are pretty solid. After looking at their stats, both of these Pokemon are actually really good and are definitely going to have meta shifting effects for sure. I think Walking Wake is definitely the superior of the two, but both are very solid Pokemon, and I think they're each going to find their own little niche categories. So if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subbed for daily competitive Pokemon content, but let's get into it. So first and foremost, I want to talk about Walking Wake. One, because Walking Wake is my favorite of the two. It just looks cooler in my opinion. But two, I think it is just super powerful. Ability on both of these, Photosynthesis and Quark Drive, nothing crazy. But I think this is super significant. If you look at their stats, honestly, starting with Walking Wake here, it's got pretty decent bulk and really decent speed. Like, this is a very workable Pokemon in terms of different EV spreads that you can run on it. It's just a very powerful Pokemon, and I think it's really gonna fit very well onto Sun teams, especially once we get into a lot of the later restricted formats. Like with Groudon, I think it'll work very well. It's just a very solid Pokemon. Now, this Pokemon's really great also because its typing's pretty solid. You're only weak to Dragon, Fairy, and Bundle. And I say you're only weak to Bundle because of Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry is going to whop this thing really hard. But other than that, like it's a pretty solid typing, similar to like Palkia, right? So the main notable thing with this particular Pokemon is this new move, Hydro Steam. Now, Showdown just updated. They haven't got everything up on it yet. But this move, what it does is it does not lose power when you're in the sun, like most water type moves would, right? It doesn't have that effect. However, it actually is increased by 50%. The damage is actually increased, which is absolutely crazy, honestly. It's a very wild thing. And that's why I say it'll play so well on Sun teams, because you got to think you're activating your Photosynthesis boost by using a Groudon, Torkoal, what have you, right? And then you're having Hydro Steam do bonus damage in the Sun, so you've got 50% more damage, or whatever your stat is, assuming you go into special attack, 50% more there, and then 50% more on Hydro Steam. This is a super powerful water type attack. Absolutely insane. But just looking at some other moves that are really cool on this Pokemon, like Dragon Dance is really cool on this, especially because it does have a really decent speed stat. Dragon Dance is something that's really solid. It does get access to Flamethrower, which is pretty interesting, especially because you are likely going to be playing it on Sun teams, which I think is going to be pretty cool. But also it has Dragon coverage as well, which is very nice. So just a really solid move pool all around. I think this is just going to be a really interesting Pokemon once the meta game develops a little bit, whenever it becomes legal. It's not legal right now for everybody that's wondering. It doesn't have a Paldean Dex entry, so you're not able to use it currently. I think for a while we're still going to be stuck in the regional Dex format. I like the design. I like the signature move. It's just a very interesting variable that I cannot wait to take into a team. But moving on to talk about Iron Leaves. This Pokemon, Grass and Psychic, Quark Drive, very interesting Pokemon as well because its stats are also very good. Both of these Pokemon, very solid stats. With a 90 HP, defense is, a little lower, but 108 special defense with a 104 speed. This is also just a very solid, well-rounded Pokemon. Now, it does have a lot more weaknesses. You're looking at fire, you're looking at flying, ice, you're looking at dark types, ghost types. So just a couple things you have to be more concerned about with this particular Pokemon. Bundle, again, rocks this Pokemon. So just some things you have to be aware of when using it. But it also got a new ability with Psyblade. And this has a similar effect to being something that's synonymous with Quark Drive. Whereas with Walking Wake, it works in the sun. This works with electric terrain, where you're getting a boost of damage from being in an electric terrain setting, which is a bit more challenging currently. Torkoal is still a very decent Pokemon, but like really your only option is Pincurchin if you're trying to set it with just throwing a Pokemon out. Once Tapu Koko rotates in, if we do get Tapu Koko, that'll be a really solid option for this Pokemon to kind of go in and start doing some work. But it has access to things like close combat. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's get Sword Dance. Any ground type moves? That'd be kind of nice for it. I don't think it gets access to any ground type. No rock type either, from what I can see. It does get Sword Dance, but really it's more of a standard moveset for this, and the move is so unique, especially, you know, if we get access to like Rillaboom and stuff, that it's going to be a lot trickier for this Pokemon to really put out as much damage as Walking Wake does. And I want to kind of talk about why I think this Pokemon is just going to be so much more situational, because Walking Wake, while yes it works fantastically in the sun, will also thrive on rain teams. Like, it's not just a sun Pokemon like many Pokemon are. This will play on both styles of team. There's nothing with this move that they have released or talked about that indicates that it'll be lowered in the rain or be neutral damage in the rain. It's base 80 power, but in the rain it'll do bonus damage, and in the sun it'll do bonus damage. So this Pokemon can play on just way more teams and be way more versatile than this Pokemon, simply for that reason alone. Not to mention that just in terms of defensive typings, that this Pokemon is just better all around. Like, it's just better. This Pokemon is going to struggle. The funny thing is with both of these Pokemon that both are still dealt with very well by Bundle and by Flutter Mane. So Flutter Mane and Bundle are still going to be menaces to society even once stuff like this starts rolling out. Both of these Pokemon are still handled very well by those two. I just think that they're very interesting. I'm a little less excited. I'm just whelmed. I wouldn't say I'm overwhelmed by this Pokemon. But Walking Wake just seems really, really solid. Now, I haven't really dove in and done a bunch of calcs or anything, or worked with any team building with these particular Pokemon, because there's likely no way they come into play anytime soon. I just can't see that being a reality. I think the more likely scenario is Ruin Pokemon eventually get added, and then maybe Hisui Pokemon get added, and that's when we'll start seeing things like Walking Wake and Pokemon that aren't part of the Paldea regional decks be added in. So I haven't really started like diving in very deeply, but I wanted to briefly talk about why these Pokemon are really cool and really exciting, especially Walking Wake. Walking Wake is just going to be a really solid Pokemon that's going to pop up a lot. I've got a really strong feeling about it. Oh, it even gets access to Snarl. This Pokemon's going to be crazy. It gets access to Snarl too. There's a lot you could do. I could even see like an AV, if you're running like a Sun team, like an AV set on this. That would be really cool. There's just a lot that you could do with this particular Pokemon. Like, I just looking, the more I look at it as I'm recording this video, there's just so much. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that really stands out to me with this one. Not really. Does it get Trick Room? No, it doesn't get Trick Room. It gets Imprison. I was gonna say maybe you could do some cheeky stuff like that, similar to what you would with like Gallade. But no, that's not. It does get Ally Switch, which could be interesting. Ally Switch is definitely something that could be a very interesting addition to this Pokemon. Yeah. But like, all in all, this Pokemon is what's up. This is so cool. I know a lot of people aren't into designs. Leave a comment below. Let me know your favorite of the two designs. Just really solid stuff. I have a video talking about how to acquire these Pokemon in game. The event runs until March 12th, so you're able to get one right now. One of each. Very, very cool stuff. That's really all I have for this video. Just something quick to kind of highlight some of the really cool stuff with these two Pokemon, and why I think Walking Wake is going to be really, really solid once we get access to it in competitive play. But that is going to be it for this video. If you found it entertaining and helpful, leave a like and subscribe for daily competitive Pokemon content from me in the future. Also, be sure to check out the Discord where people over there hanging out, playing Pokemon all the time. And if you want to see more from me, check out the video I was talking about earlier, where I was breaking down how to get these particular Pokemon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And also check out this video where I talk about how to claim the pre-order bonuses for pre-ordering the Scarlet and Violet DLC stuff. There's a couple things that you get that's actually pretty cool, so check that out as well. And also check out whatever VGC video is on screen right now. But until next time, peace.